Hey yo, Snarf here, and we're talking about UFC Fight Night, Jairzinho Rozenstruik versus Shamil Gaziev. Another Apex banger tonight. No, March 2nd, 2024. Now, this is a decent card for an Apex card. Uh, it's surprising that it's not like a female, there's not a single female fight on this card. So that's interesting. It might be a really good night of fights, actually. So I wanted to talk about a lot of these fights. I'll give you my predictions. I don't have a breakdown for all of them, but I do have predictions. So first fight of the night will be Abdul Karim El Sawadi, and he'll be facing Loic Radzhabov. I got El Sawadi. He beat up George Hardwick, made him look not as special as everyone was saying. Um, was switching stances, countering on the back and front foot. Uh, Loic Razabov is mid at best, and he's probably going to get hurt. He lost to Rebecca. That's not the worst loss. But I, I just, I think Sawadi is good. So I got Sawadi by finish in the second round for sure, or something like that. Ludwig Klein versus AJ Cunningham. AJ Cunningham, he last fight on the Contender Series. Ludwig Klein is pretty good. Who'd he fight last? He fought, yeah, Baja Mendez. I'm gonna go with Ludwig Klein. He's just been there, 20-4 to 10-3. Yeah, I got Ludwig Klein. Christian Leroy Duncan versus Claudio Ribeiro. I'm going Christian Leroy Duncan. I like Christian. I think he's really good. So, Claudio Ribeiro is mediocre, kind of chinny, honestly. He's already got KO'd both in the second round, so that's what I'm going to predict. Uh, it was by Al Hassan and Kopylov, who I always thought was a little bit overrated. I mean, phenomenal striker, but what happens when you take him down? We found out. Okay, Ayman Zahabi versus Javed Bashrat. Bashrat is going to crush Ariel Hawani up into a ball and do whatever he wants. He's going to dominate. Vinicius Oliveira versus Bernardo Sapage. Sapage, who's this? Who 0-1 is crazy. 23. I don't know any from Albania. His nickname is the Lion King. I 0-1? Come on. Yeah, I got Vinicius Oliveira. Like, what am I supposed to do with an 0-1 record? You lost to who's the guy he lost to? Newsy is a crazy name. A 5'3". Oh my gosh. Yeah. Sapaj lost to a 5'3" guy in his first fight and lost. They're the same age. Yeah, I got Vinicius. Vinicius is like 5'9". And who the heck is Newsy? What is he? Maybe he's a goat, but I'll have to look at Newsy more after this. But enough on that. Vinicius gonna win that. Eric Anders versus Jamie Pickett. Let's go with Eric Anders. I think Jamie Pickett's like frail, and I don't know. I just feel like Eric Anders is super physical. Could definitely knock out Jamie Pickett. Jamie Pickett doesn't have the best chin on the planet. Um, I don't know. Yeah, uh, I'm gonna go with Eric Anders there. Raul Rosas versus Ricky Tercios. This is like the one where I'm like unsure. I think Raul Rosas should win this, but maybe Ricky Tercios is just like that next level cardio. He has retired like two times already. So I don't know. Let's say Raul Rosas though. I'm gonna go with Raul Rosas. That's my pick. Uh, Steve Urseg versus Matt Schnell. Matt Schnell is a warrior. That's one of my favorite lines. I'd never know why. Matt Schnell is a warrior against Sumu Darji when he was getting that triangle locked in. That was lit. That was a crazy fight. Crazy, crazy, crazy fight. Um, lost to Mateus Nicolau, Brandon Royval. He's a bit weak. He gets KO'd. Steve Urseg. I like Steve Urseg. He's slick. I think he might submit Matt Schnell. Like, that would make sense. I don't know. I'm going with Steve Urseg. I think he's probably just better, you know? Um, I could see a submission in the second round. Yeah, Steve Urseg got that. He's a huge favorite for sure. I agree with that. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Bekzat Almakal. Now, here's the thing with this fight. Just looking at the name, it's disappointing because Umar Nurmagomedov is sick. I think he's a future bantamweight champion. I think once he gets a hold of Sean O'Malley, it's over. That's where the road ends. And then we have Islam Makhachev and Nurmagomedov as probably 1 and 2 pound for pound at some point. I That's how highly I rate Nurmagomedov. Um, but Rex Al also looks like a savage. It's just kind of unfair to have this be your first fight. Um, it puts him in deep waters. So I think he's good though. I think he's really good. I think Bekzat is good from what I saw. Um, I just think Umar is more experienced. It's going to be hard to like prepare on short notice against Umar Nurmagomedov. You hear that last name? Umar Nurmagomedov. That's a scary last name to hear on however long notice this guy had. He doesn't even have his face on ESPN. It's going to be a tough fight. There is a possibility this is like uh, the equivalent of Islam Makhachev and Armin Saryukian or something like that. Um, I think I heard Lucas Tracy saying something like that, and I agree. I agree after watching all the footage. Um, Up next is Alex Perez versus Muhammad Makayev. I just think Makayev, he's an interesting fella. He looks terrible in the first 2 rounds of every single one of his fights and then immediately submits people and makes it look like the rest of the fight was just a joke. He was laughing the whole time. You know, he's just doing the splits in there. Like, it's crazy that he didn't tap to that, how he had his leg. That's crazy to me. But yeah, I got Muhammad Makayev by third round submission, probably. Alex Perez is injury prone, doesn't fight very often. I feel so bad for Alex Perez after Davis and Figueiredo beat him up and subbed him immediately into that fight. He just hasn't been the same. He has fought. I I thought it was more than this. He has fought 2 times in 4 years, bro. That is so unfortunate. He last fought Pantoja, got submitted in the first round in 2022. There's no way Alex Perez. I am very confident in Makayev. He might just do this in a round now that I saw that. Makayev, yeah, he's gonna beat up Alex Perez for sure, for sure. Up next, Vitor Petrino versus Tyson Pedro. Tyson Page was interesting, if you ask me. I've never been like super impressed by him, except for I think it was the Hunsucker fight where he teeped him and he fell over, and then he had the KO over to Turkalj, where he like brought out the sword, right? Kind of cringe, but yeah, I got Vitor. Vitor's a submission god with crazy power. Crazy power. Um, it's crazy that they have Vitor as a striker and Tyson Pedro as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. How many submissions does Tyson Pedro? This is crazy. I always love looking at this. He has okay, 5 submissions. Okay, yeah, Vitor Petrino, bigger, stronger. Still has that that I always have thought that like having no losses like has to give you like a superpower until it doesn't, you know? But yeah, Vitor Petrino. Oh god, how is this a main event? Jairzinho Rozenstruik versus Shamil Gaziev. Peak athletes here going at it for 5 rounds. The best athletes you've ever seen. Now, I wish I was serious, but I'm not. I'm not. Shamil Gaziev, look at him. Um, he's kind of fun to watch, but these guys are gonna swing some. Shamil's gonna walk forward like a spaz with his hands down. Just gonna throw 5-piece combos. And either he's going to hurt Jairzinho or Rozenstruik's going to hurt him, or they just both miss everything and they're gassed out after the second round. And we get to watch them breathe at each other for 3 rounds. So I'm excited for that when that inevitably happens. And we get another Jairzinho Rozenstruik main event banger. So overall, this card is good. I like a lot of these fights, but why couldn't Umar versus anyone else? Like, give us someone who's ranked at least. There's got to be someone you could be like $20,000 more. Please, we know his name is Nurmagomedov, and he can strike, and he can grapple. But here's an extra 20,000 just to fight him instead of someone else. Why couldn't it be that as the main event? Because that's more interesting. Because Jairzinho Rozenstruik, I hope, is never fighting for a title. And I just don't see Shamil Gaziev ever fighting for a title either. I just don't think you can anymore. You can have that much body fat and expect to be a heavyweight champion anymore. I just don't think it can happen. It's going to be guys like, this is another rant, but I don't think either of these guys are future champions. And I think that's what you want to be putting on the main event of your cards. You want to be putting guys that can be future champions or future stars. That should be the only thing you're putting on these main events. Anyway, I got Shamil Gaziev. I'm very unconfident in this pick. I think, yeah, Shamil Gaziev, he's just going to pressure him. Jairzinho's going to miss big. He's kind of like Derek Lewis, where he just throws like one shot at a time. He does like to kick legs, so maybe he does catch Gaziev with the leg kicks. I think Gaziev might take him down. Um, he has submitted he submitted his guy on Contender Series. That was pretty impressive. I remember that. But yeah, I got Shamil Gaziev. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.